Hi everybody, good evening from the Amazon rainforest here in southeast Ecuador at Fruit Haven Eco Village. I am constructing my cabin on my permaculture homestead lot, and please ignore the large ugly pile of scrap wood there. Anyways, I haven't made a construction update video in a while. I don't remember if this is number 8 or number 9, but as you can see, we've made a bit of progress. Obviously the roof and everything is done. You saw that in previous videos. We're starting the kind of the framework of the walls, and we also got the floorboards delivered so you can see the floorboards there. So let's come in here and take a look. Okay, so we got some floorboards here. Pretty nice wood. This is Juropillo. It's an exotic tropical hardwood, something you would pay ridiculous amounts of money for in the United States, but here they cost a lot less. We got them shiplapped. You can see the edges are kind of have this there's a lip that was kind of cut into them at the carpentry shop, so they fit into the next piece. So it's not quite the same as tongue and groove boards, but it's almost as good. So after we install them on the floor, we are going to sand them and treat them with hopefully maybe linseed oil or some kind of natural wax. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of them. And actually, these are the ones I selected for the walls. The ones I selected for the floor over here, they have a more dark, like almost purplish color, and I don't know if you can see that well on the camera. I'm not sure how the saturation is, but anyways, these have like the darkest, deepest purplish color. Really beautiful. I think it came from like a 100-year-old tree that had fallen on the side of the river. So anyways, yeah. So this is some wood I bought about a year ago, and I had it drying down at the community house. And it was arrived, and it was so good. I was like, I'm not even going to sell this, because usually I buy wood to sell. But I was like, well, I'm not even going to sell this. I'm going to use it for my house because it's so nice. Anyways, but what I find with the wood down here, obviously, if you install green, fresh cut wood as your floorboards, they're going to shrink, and there's going to be big gaps between them, like there is now. When you install them, they'll be tight together. But then after they dry a bit more, they'll shrink, and the gaps will get bigger, and you'll have big gaps in your floor, and that's no good. So what I tend to do is I'll let them dry for 6 to 9, maybe let them dry for 6 months. And then after about 6 months, bring them to the carpentry shop and have them planed, which means they're smooth, and shiplapped. And then after that, it's usually a good idea to let them dry for maybe another 2 or 3 months. So you have 9 to 12 months total drying time, especially in this humid climate. And they should be dried out of the sun, not in the sun, because otherwise they'll tend to split. And that's no good if they split. So I'm keeping them inside, and they're going to dry for maybe another month or 2 here before we install them on the floor. So yeah, obviously this interior wall board here, it's not the same kind of wood. It's a lighter kind of wood. It's copal or achotillo, more tropical hardwoods, but it's a bit easier to work with than the super, super hard stuff we used on the beams. Let's see if I can get over here without falling through the floor here, which is obviously not installed yet. It's a bit treacherous here. Yeah, so I'm going to have this lower part here is going to have wall boards, and then the upper part here is just going to be screened, which is going to be nice. And I putting a little counter here so we can put some candles or some plants or something. And that's what we're going to do on this side of the house and here as well. And on the other side, you can see those vertical boards going all the way up, kind of like 2x4s would be in a stick frame construction. There I'm going to have boards go all the way up and leave the top screened so light can get in. And that's probably where I'll put the bed. And then, of course, the door will be over here, satisfying feng shui, where we have the bed in the command position, which means you're basically looking towards the door and you're not on the side of it or in front of it. All right, and that white string you can see going across between the 2 boards here, that's what we use, to level and make sure the board is ending up where we want it before we actually put the board in. The carpenters who are doing this are pretty great. They've been working for us for some years. And yeah, working with Ecuadorian contractors and carpenters is sometimes annoying because there's a certain way they do things. This is a developed country, so they're used to cutting corners and doing this cheap and easy. But after working with us for some years, now they know that we want things done a certain way, we want certain quality, and they're more likely to do things in a really nice way rather than just kind of the quick and easy, simple way, which is what happens if you have someone build a house for you down here and you don't watch them, then automatically it gets built the simple way. Down there you can see my Mysore raspberry trellis. They actually just started putting out fruit, so hopefully I'll get some fruit soon. Yeah. Anything else I should mention? Oh yeah, so these boards are also planed, though we actually planed them ourselves here with a table planer and sanded them nicely, so they're really smooth and beautiful. So the rough cut, I don't know if I have an example of a rough cut board to show you. I thought I had, yeah, so over here there's a rough cut board on the floor. There's a few. You can see there's kind of like these swirly marks, curvy marks. This is a rough cut board. It's cut with a chainsaw in the woods. This one as well. These are rough cut. So if you bring these to the carpentry shop or put them through your table planer, then they come out like this. So basically like your Home Depot wood, which has usually already been planed. But here, wood is ordered directly from the people who have the land. It's not like a massive lumber company that comes through and clear cuts everything and puts the wood on a truck and sells it to a lumber shipyard distributor or whatever. Here it's pretty much farm to table in terms of wood. Your neighbor has a tree, needs some money, cuts down the tree, sells the wood, cuts the wood up with his chainsaw, sells it to you, you do whatever you want with it. There's thousands of hectares of forest around here, so it's not like there's a huge shortage of trees, but that is something to consider in the future going forwards, of course. All right, one more thing I should mention. Yeah, we haven't done yet. Up in the roof here, you'll see there's these crazy like rope and string and stick things, and they're actually tied onto the roof ridge. The roof rafters up there, and the strings were used to tighten them. Basically, they're these tension ropes that are pulling the rafters, because the rafters, when you're cutting fresh wood, sometimes it comes from the side of a tree or something, and there's some tension in the tree you didn't notice, and after you cut the straight board out of it, it just warps like crazy. So yeah, these were like that, and we installed them in the roof and tightened them, and now if we were to cut that rope, it would bend 5 centimeters that way, and it would distort the roof a little bit. So we're leaving these ropes in for a while to get them to straighten, and then we're going to install a few more braces to keep them straight. The rest of the roof, the boards stayed naturally straight, so we don't really have to do that. Up here, there's still a mess of temporary boards we threw up here so they can get around up there. But we're going to take them out hopefully next week when we finalize that roof framing. Anyways, that's probably all I got to say for now. Hope everybody enjoyed this cabin construction update. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll have a floor or some walls or something, and I got to figure out what to do with the ramp or stairs or whatever I do going to the door on this side of the house. Yeah, it's going to be great. Oh yeah, fruithaven.org. Go to fruithaven.org. Check out Fruithaven Eco Village. Also, if you want to come to the Amazon Fruit Festival, January 17 to 23, 2022, we're going to have it. Also, we still have that guaranteed 100% COVID refund. If you buy a ticket and then all of a sudden the entire world puts a global mandatory vaccination and you can't travel anywhere, doesn't matter, you'll get refunded. If you live in Australia and you can't manage to get permission to leave your country before then, you'll get your ticket refunded. If you live in UK and they do another travel ban just right before the festival starts and you can't leave the country, we'll refund your ticket, no problem. Guaranteed COVID refund. You can check out the details on the AmazonFruitFestival.com, AmazonFruitFestival.com, January 17 to 23. Buy your tickets now. Buy them without a care in your mind, because, like I said, we have the guaranteed COVID refund policy, which no other fruit festival in the world has. We are able to offer that because we are awesome, and the other fruit festivals are not quite as awesome as us. If you use the discount code plant a tree, I think it's plant a tree. It might be plant a fruit tree, but I'm pretty sure it's plant a tree, and you'll get $50 off. So you should do that. Buy a ticket, come down here, escape the apocalypse.